last year of that board meeting tonight, so please bear with us and we'll get going as soon as we can here. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Please join me. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we have all board members present except for Ms. Ossendorf, who had a prior commitment on this Tuesday evening, and along with Superintendent Joshik. Is there anything on the meeting agenda that anybody wishes to add or remove? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve today's agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Ms.
Second.
Schoenfelder, second by Ms. Roll. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Educational plan, we follow that. It's always posted in our board meeting. And Ms. Roll is going to read our mission statement.
The mission of the Red Wing Public Schools is to educate and inspire all students as they realize their full potential and become respectful, responsible, and productive citizens.
Thank you. Recognitions and upcoming events. Anybody have anything? Maybe we'll start with the superintendent.
Well, I think
Today.
the main thing is, all that's coming up, planning for that has been going well to everything I've been able to determine. Certainly folks from the, Prairie Island community have been very helpful in getting this set up. I think, Emily has things pretty well lined up as far as transportation for the education day, which is on Friday. So that is coming together pretty well. And then, the day itself on Saturday. Again, I think people have been very helpful in getting those things ironed out. Emily, do you get anything to add to that?
No, so we do have all Sunnyside, Burnside, Twin Bluff, and Tower View kids coming here on Friday, September 13th. We have two different assemblies with Larry Yazzie, and they are by age level. So we have all of our students being transported here. Transportation is great to work with. We are using every single bus and then some to get that many kids here at different times. Jen and Mike were great. We had to do some adjusting and adjust Penny as well to our lunch schedule to make that work for our elementary kiddos. Permission slips went out at open house and everyone's tracking those. So we're just really looking forward to that day. And then the group is going to meet at the end of September and really work on what is an education day can look like going forward.
Why don't you go over Saturday's time since the community and that, where is it at, what time is it and all that?
So here on the football field is not the exact times. That I don't recall.
I believe there's different things throughout the day, and I could be wrong, but I want to say it does start at 10 a.m.
Goes till 8.
I think so.
I believe that's right.
I'd have to go in my folder.
I thought it was at 10 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a day-long event is what the bottom line is.
Where can people find information if they're like, I want to know more about this?
On social media, there's a Wachipi Facebook thing. There's also a website that you can get through the Honoring Dakota Project website as well.
Is that on our website too? Over there? They're located.
I think it's
Pretty
on our
sure
school
that it's
newsletter as
the
well
same,
too. Yeah.
Great, good. Sounds like a big day.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
And I was filling out my calendar, and I think September 9th we're doing the first TV, because we have 6 for every building. We're doing the first TV, and we're gonna let all the students paint with their hand and paint put on the TV, so that way that it was made by all the students, and they're gonna be put up. But high school is gonna start first, and we're gonna trickle down the line at the different buildings, and then those students and staff do the same thing.
And the TPs are new, so.
Brand spanking.
So, through the help of the folks, with Nikki and everybody else, there's some things you gotta consider, like the stretching of the canvas and some different things as all well for the first time. But through their expertise, we're gonna be able to get that up.
Good. And then how about today?
Today, I felt was really a good day. I was very fortunate to be able to go to all of the schools. I did not make it out to Tower View, and I didn't get to Colville, but the 2 elementaries, the middle school and the high school, lots of, smiles and tears you know, so you have people that are coming in who, you know, they're kindergartners or for the first time, or they're seniors who are their last, first day of school. So there was kind of on both ends of the spectrum. It was just a great day, I think. I mean, I talked to a lot of kids, and then I was able to spend quite a bit of time in the high school, just, you know, walking around and talking and visiting with kids. And I met a bunch of great kids, and, you know, one thing that I always say is I really like empty hallways, not because there's no kids here, but because they're in class and they're learning. And I saw a lot of that today, so that was really good.
Good. Anyone else have anything? Yes.
I went to Tower View in Cobble today, and I was there in the morning when the kids came, and they were, you know, ready to come in and get started. The staff was excited, and everyone, the staff are very happy to be back under the Red Wing Public Schools umbrella, so all good things.
I went to Burnside in the middle school. A lot of little kids running around Burnside helping what I can to find where they gotta go. Everybody was positive, very good, exciting. Some, you know, obviously some little kids scared yet a little bit, maybe the first time in the building. Met the father and his young son. Son did not speak English, so he was helping him. So that was very, very rewarding. Nice that this person chose to come to Red Wing. I went to the middle school. Mr. Bierman put me in charge of traffic, and it was, I have to say, this is my third year doing that. It's the first year I haven't had to yell at anybody to put their cell phone down. But, which is, maybe they're getting the point that the children are more important than their cell phone. But, everything I thought went really smooth in the traffic out there. And, you know, people dropping off, the first day doing it, they went ahead when they could. It was good. I'll go to Sunnyside in high school tomorrow, see what's going on there. Anything, last week we had that, your teacher development, we served lunch and that went really well. You had that, your discussion there, how to pronounce your first name?
And my first name?
Yeah. No, it was, sounded like everybody, was good to see everybody again, they were really good. Anybody else have anything else? Yes.
Well, I got around to all the buildings too, but I would like to say that every single staff person did a wonderful job of calming nerves and engaging kids and staying calm when the buses are late, and the kids also at the high school, which was the latest of the late, all those kids were, oh no, wait, Patrick was the latest of the late. But the kids that we had here at the high school that were riding buses were so, you know, even though they were frustrated, they were really good. We have great kids here, all the way around.
Great buildings here, all throughout the whole district. All right, any public comment? Anybody here for public comment? Did you receive any emails for public comments? I have not, and I did not either. We talked a little bit about first day of school recap. Do you have anything more you'd like to say on that?
Not really. I mean, now we're looking forward to day 2.
Day 2, yep. Hopefully day 2 will go smoothly and or a little bit more smoother than day 1. Administrative reports.
So on our administrative reports there, you can see those things pretty well for yourself. But a lot of this has to do with preseason things the staff ended up having available and going through. So Meet the Teacher Day out at Colville, that ended up being a real good day on the 28th. Also on the 28th, we had lots of people throughout. I mean, Sunnyside, Burnside, down at Twin Bluff, we had the fall Hispanic Open House on Wednesday the 21st, and that was a lot of fun. Patrick, do you remember how many families that we represented that night? I mean, there was a lot of people.
We had a little over 180 in attendance that night.
So 180.
I don't know how many families that was, but there was a lot of kids.
Yep, a lot of kids, so, and that, according to what Jamie had said before, that was roughly double what it was a year ago. So being able to have that kind of engagement with Hispanic community is great, so that worked out very, very nicely. At the high school, kind of on a similar day, they had 80% of the kids showed up in some fashion or other. Part of that ended up being attributable to they did pictures that day. So kids would come in, they can take the picture, then they can get their schedule or vice versa. And it really worked out good. They were here, I think it was from 11 until 7 was the hours that was. It worked out nice, and it was fun to see parents with kids, you know, the kid is dragging the parent around, showing them their classrooms, those kind of things, and getting all those. Anyway, it was a really good day. And when you get 80% of your 8th through 12th graders to come through the doors, that was a win, I guess, on my side of it. So that was a plus. And then Tower View, right now, we have Tower View back under Red Wing Public Schools. And Robin Pagels, the assistant principal from the high school, so she's also gonna be helping with Tower View. As of right now, there are 53 students that are enrolled in Tower View. So hopefully we can bump that number up a little bit over the course of time, but a lot of work has been taking place to get that done. We didn't get approval for the program out there until, Emily, when was that? It was,
We were at the law conference, so it was August 8th or 9th.
yeah, so it was kind of a dicey deal as we were getting that, but it came through. So next year, we'll be working on an ALC application instead of an ALP.
Yeah, we'll be emailing in the next couple of weeks because the app, you can't access the application if you email your intent to submit, and they'll email us the application for ALC.
So the work for next year is already starting. So
Great. Any questions? Committee updates. Anybody have any committee going on the last? We talked a little bit about the LMC, we'll be doing that there in the insurance discussions. Anybody else, GCD?
I think the biggest thing is that we're working on getting an agreement with Rise Up Red Wing. We're getting an MOU, the MOU. And so that's a work in progress.
Okay. All right, we have the consent agenda. Anybody wish to pull any of the 4 object or numbered items off of there? Do we hear none? I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Schoenfelder, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Bjornstedt. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Set date for mid-year superintendent evaluation. Barb Dorn is going to be here on October 7th. When we have our regular school board meeting, it's going to begin at 4 o'clock. And then from that discussion, that'll be where it'll generate what that superintendent evaluation look like. The recommendation is that because there are some board members who will be going off of the board before that happens, because you guys have been the ones who have been able to work with me up through that first 6-month period, that that evaluation date, my recommendation is that we would have it December 2nd. My recommendation would be to approve that date for that evaluation.
I move we approve December 2nd for our superintendent, for second date for our superintendent evaluation at December 2nd.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Bjornstedt, second by Ms. Tiff. Any discussion, further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Establish committee or liaison to attend tribal council, meet with the tribal council. So the Prairie Island community is very important to us here at Red Wing Public Schools, so we would like to be able to have board members who interact with the tribal council. So in order to do that, we'd like to name a committee or several people to meet with the tribal council at this time. Yes?
I was just wondering if it makes sense to do a rotation so that we could all have a chance to participate.
Sure.
And at least meet the council, if not go regularly, at least
During our workshop, I just suggested I'd been there before to have some continuity, and then Rachel and Pam, and maybe Rachel and somebody else could step in there too, because, they get to know them, and they want to get to know us too, you're right.
So, and you can have up to 3, because then you don't end up with a voting block, so, we wanna set 3 initially for the first meeting, and then rotate somebody off and go there, that's certainly something that could be done.
What's the board's wishes?
I can go last because I've already had a lot of contact with parents that are in APAC. So I don't
Okay.
necessarily need to be one of the first people to go.
And I will go never for context for everybody else. I have direct access to them for any kind of funds, and I will pass on that as well.
I was really interested in going, but if it's a meeting always like on a Tuesday or Wednesday during the day, I guess for people who work, that probably won't work for me.
Okay,
Do we have a set time?
We don't.
When
We
it
have-
is?
we don't have a date or time yet, because we're waiting through the summer to contact them, because they're very busy during the summer. Superintendent will contact them and say, we'd like to schedule a meet, and then,
Once we know who's available, then.
Did you contact Jody Johnson already?
Excuse me?
Did you contact Jody J already?
No, I didn't.
I would just get on their books ASAP, and then at that time, then decide who's ever available to go
Okay.
at that moment.
And you said for sure it's a Tuesday, Wednesday.
From, my past recollections, generally they're meeting days.
Well, that's the rough time.
We met in the morning.
We met in the morning, but I can't remember which days, I can't remember which days casino day.
I would really recommend that we just find out what those dates and times are through December, and then bring that back, and we can sign up for time with that.
Yep. I'm just gonna say that, yeah, that's fine. Why don't you get ahold of
Jody J.
Jody J, said we'd like to have a meeting with them when they're available, and give us some dates, and through the end of the year, we get multiple meetings, just to kind of brainstorm stuff, and you might see some of them on the 13th and 14th too, so. Okay, all right, then we'll come back. Right now, it sounds like us 4 would be interested. Whoever's available at whatever works, we'll figure out something from there. Perfect.
I'll contact them tomorrow.
Okay. AED grant application. So this was submitted by Athletic Director Paul Hartman. So on this, the Minnesota State High School League is offering a grant opportunity to put AEDs into school districts and buildings. They're going to award 32 AEDs to randomly selected schools out of those that apply. Not all schools will apply. It'll be my recommendation to support the submission of an AED grant application to the State High School League by Mr. Hartman. I'll make a motion to approve this. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Somebody that has been trained on it and used it. They're very good on some of them. So I hope we're selected. Nice to have one. And all the buildings. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Enrollment data.
So during the workshop, I handed out that sheet for you, and it is available on the Word book now as well. So with that, at this point, the number of students that are being served directly by Red Wing Public Schools is 2,198 as of this morning. At Tower View, we have 53. There are 87 students who are Red Wing residents who are full-time with BCED, the 5RO online program. So, and then all total, if you looked at across the district between Red Wing Public Schools, Tower View, and 5RO, 2,338 Red Wing students that are attending under our purview in one way, shape, or form. That number is going to go up and down a little bit as the beginning of the year Just today, there was another family that came rolling into the office and enrolled today. This, while it's better than it had looked earlier this year, we are still probably 30 students shy of the numbers that were used for the budget projections back in June. So we're gonna have to make some adjustments to the budget based upon these new numbers. Lisa and I talked very briefly today about some possibilities on where that, some of this may end up being current staffing that we have ads out for that we just may not end up hiring in order to make this thing work. So that's where we stand as of today.
Okay. Questions? Okay, move on. Ms. Ryder, you gonna do the insurance bids? Insurance bid discussion, I should say.
So it was our year for, Lisa Ryder, Director of Finance and Operations for the school district. It was our year to go out for a HIT-A-Bid, which is the health insurance, and it's a process that requires us to publicize in a formal bid process the opportunity for vendors to be able to give us a proposal on our insurances for beginning January 1 of 25. Of that, we had 8 people that responded, 8 different vendors. Of those 8 vendors, 5 of them declined to submit. We then looked at the proposals for the 3 that did submit, and we worked with 2 of them in detail with regard to their proposal, listening to their recommendations or their what their proposal included. And from that, then we are now recommending through the LMC, because the LMC reviewed all of those. The recommendation coming to the board is for us to work and award the bid to Blue Cross Blue Shield for the January 1, 2025 insurance. This will mean for this next school year, or next calendar year, it would be a on average 12% increase on the premiums for the various different plans. They may be up or down a little, but on average, it's around 12% across the board.
The recommendation, any questions or wish to make a motion to approve? Recommend the 2025 insurance? Yes.
Move we accept
Award the bid.
the bid for the 2025 insurance.
Motion by Ms. Bjornson, second by Ms. Tipp. Is there any discussion? Any questions? Talk about this at the workshop too. And so,
I think I'd like to just thank the committee for the diligent work. I know that this is a difficult process to go through, and that, we're in kind of a season of high rates, and you've done your due diligence to do the best that we can with the money that we have. And so thank you for the work that this committee has put forward.
thank you. Hearing nothing else, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Letters overview.
Good
Hello, Emily.
evening. Hello. Let me share my screen and we will get started
Tell
here.
everybody who you are out there too.
As I'm doing that, I am Emily Seafelt. I am the Director of Teaching and Learning for Red Wing. So letters was one of the 3 choices that MDE gave as part of the READ Act. Most of you know this. We started actually a year early because we already had a plan to do letters prior to the READ Act coming out. So just kind of an overview where we are is last year, school year, we had all of our K-4 gen ed and special education teachers, which was 53 teachers, staff, and admin, start volume 1 and finish volume 1 of letters. This school year, all of those same staff are now doing volume 2 because letters is a 2-year program. And we also have volume 1 getting started with 5th grade general education and 6-12 special education teachers. And we also have Letters Early Childhood, which is a 1-year professional learning at Colville as well. These are all classified as phase 1 educators per the READ Act. So phase 1 educators needed to start this school year. We just happen to have our K4 staff is just a year ahead. So that is where we are for this school year. Next school year, we will have 5th grade gen ed and 6-12 special education teachers doing volume 2. And then what's to be determined is I know what staff are part of phase 2. The state has not released the choices for professional learning for phase 2. I attended a webinar last week, and the latest is we register them in March, and they're going to tell us, I think, in February, the choices. So we'll make a choice really quickly of what those will be, but that'll be for our secondary language arts teachers, so 6th through 12th grade, our EL teachers, and any alternative program teachers got added to phase 2 as well to go through READ Act training, which is science of reading. I put to be determined for the 26-27 school year because I don't know if the options will be a 1-year or 2-year for our phase 2 teachers. Also, as a note, we had 16 teachers, interventionists, and administrators complete letters prior to the READ Act. I think it's 2021, MDE offered so many spots through an email, and they were gone in a day. So Jen Grove behind me did it then. That's also when I got started as well. We did it through the state at that time. Completion timeline, because we get a lot of questions on this. Letters Early Childhood is about 37.5 hours in a year. So it's great learning. It's a lot of time. Letters Volume 1 is about 47 hours, and Letters Volume 2 is about 50. I have those reversed, by the way. Volume 1 is 53 hours. Volume 2 is 47. So the first year takes a little bit more time. And this is just the time it takes for the professional learning. There are bridge to learning activities within Letters, which is really putting that theory into practice in the classroom that wouldn't be part of this time. So this is how the calculation we use when finding all of our PD time throughout the year. Little READ Act update that goes with that as well. So last year, MDE released what they call highly aligned list of curricula from the state. They put very few things on the first round. There was 3 choices for foundational phonics, 1 for comprehensive, and 1 for comprehension. We did implement UFly, which is one of the foundational phonics curriculums, starting this year in kindergarten through 2nd grade. So all of our teachers have access to that. We started showing them in the spring. They have hands-on materials that go with that as well. And so that is foundational phonics, really being explicit, which is part of structured literacy. This spring, MD is going to release the final list of highly aligned curricula. Hopefully there's more things on it because there's not a lot of choice when you look at the other 2. There is no choice. You have 1 comprehensive, 1 comprehension. So it's actually worked out really well with where we are in our curriculum alignment for purchase because the list will come out in spring. Next school year, we will start a literacy review committee that will review all the choices from MDE. 26-27 school year, we're going to do a K-6 literacy pilot. And in the 27-28 school year, we will be implementing a new K-6 literacy curriculum. Any questions?
Questions at all? I have one.
Yeah.
I'm a person out here saying, what is this letters? How do we measure success with it? Or is it immediate? Is it long-term?
It's long-term. So kind of my background, I'll say, for Letters. So science of reading is how the brain learns to read. We have an entire generation of educators that were not taught the science of reading in college. There's about a 30-year gap that focus on something called balanced literacy. And balanced literacy, it felt really good is my way I'm going to say it. It feels really good, but it didn't give you the results for the kids that need the most help for reading because it didn't align with how the brain learns to read. So this is really showing our teachers how to teach reading in a way that's successful for all students. We have started to see in some of those first classrooms that started in 21, I can see the data in those classrooms already, but it does take a couple years to see that, just to see that change. But that's what we're looking for. When this is all done and we've had our K through 12th grade teachers trained in the science of reading, that's going to change all of our reading data in our district because there's going to be explicit and structured, and this is exactly how. And I've told a lot of people this. I finished in 2018 my K-12 reading license from Hamline University. I learned more about teaching how to read in letters than I did in that degree by a mile.
So the data will be measured by the students.
Students, yep, students reading. We'll see the success in our FastBridge scores, which is what we really use to measure instruction in the district, our screening scores. So in their fluency, their comprehension, we're going to see it in that.
So I should have gave you this question ahead of time.
That's okay.
Do you, know any other schools in the area that does this also?
Does letters.
Letters training in 50 miles from us. Do you know of any?
Well, so everybody in the state of Minnesota is doing it this year. They had to pick between 3.
Okay.
A lot of people picked one that MDE said was going to be the least amount of time. It actually is not. When they actually started it, it's about 12 hours longer than they said. So I know a lot of districts around us are doing core, it's called. A lot of districts are also doing letters. Some have split it by grade levels as well. So,
Thank you.
Yep.
I learned something.
yeah, no, every district, and MDE covered this year. So everything starting with the READ Act forward right now, they paid for all of our letters this year. So MDE is covering that. Nope, every district had to pick one of the 3 and start this year. So, okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay. Thank you, Emily.
Yep.
Superintendent report. So, well, I don't know if I've been on for any of it. I'm okay. So, anyway, that was a little bit strange. So, as far as for myself, one of the things that I want to do is visit with teachers. I want to visit with all staff as much as possible, but I'm setting up meetings with all high school teachers. That's where I'm starting, in groups of 3, 4, or 5. Basically, I'm taking their prep hours, and Lisa is setting up those meetings for me. I want to get through all the high school by the end of September as much as possible. And basically, I just want to get to know people a little bit, but then I also want to hear from them things that are good, things that we need to work on. These are people that have been within the district for decades in a lot of cases, so you can learn a lot by listening to people. So that's where I'm going to start. Lisa Stegerda has been setting up those meetings for me, so we'll hopefully get started on those next week. That's going to take a little bit of time. Basically, I've set up roughly half-hour sessions with each group, and that should end up going really pretty well. One thing that is coming up here is now with the school board election that's going to be upon us. The League of Women Voters, they always sponsor a forum that involves not only school board, but they also do, I believe, city and county, and that's going to be held here at the school. One of the questions that Ann Robertson had for me was if we should be creating a list of questions to be answered by the individual, by the people who are vying for those school board positions. And my answer to her on that was that at this point, it's probably not appropriate for the school district to be asking those questions. We do not want to, in any way, shape, or form, influence the election from the school district side. So if the school district is not providing those questions, that's the reason why that is. We just don't want to put ourselves in a place where we really should not be. So if anybody asks about that, that is the reason for that. Otherwise, the main thing that's just been really the start of the school year, there's all kinds of stuff going on even tonight, volleyball game here, there's a soccer game that's going on, football game on Saturday, Friday, lots of activities, and I hope to get to as many of those as I possibly can. The big thing now is we got through our first day of school, now we got to stack another day in tomorrow and a day after that and go from there. So far, I just think it's been a really good start. So certainly work to do, but I'm encouraged by what we can do.
Good. Any questions for the superintendent?
I think it's wise that we are not providing questions because this is the community's opportunity to get their questions answered, not ours.
You've been here a whole 2 months.
Yep.
Sound good. You've been very busy. I know you have. So. All right. Upcoming meeting is, the next meeting is on the 16th, I believe. I had pulled up here 16th at 5 o'clock, our workshop. 6 o'clock, our school board meeting. Anybody else have anything else before this board? Let's have a great second and third and fourth day this week of school. And the busing will improve, it always does over time. So, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Rowe, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Bjornsted. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you. Have a good evening, everybody.